With the new Superman in theaters now, let's revisit, or should I say, re-review the previous Superman installment of the now defunct DC Extended Universe. Here's my re-review of Man of Steel. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 2013 superhero flick Man of Steel, released by Warner Bros., directed by Zack Snyder, from a screenplay written by David S. Goyer, who developed the story with Christopher Nolan, who produced the film. This is a new take on Superman, a reboot of the film series depicting the character's origin story. It's the first film in the DCEU, starring Henry Cavill as Superman, the title role, along with Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, Laurence Fishburne, and Russell Crowe. In the film, our titular hero learns that he is a superpowered alien from the planet Krypton, well, as his alter ego Clark Kent, and assumes the role of mankind's protector Superman, making the choice to face General Zod and stop him from destroying humanity. The film was released on June 14, 2013, just 4 days after it made its premiere at the Alice Tully Hall in New York City. It eventually did pretty well, becoming a hit, even though despite getting mixed reviews. The planet Krypton is destabilizing from the mining of the planetary core. Just before the planet explodes, Krypton's top scientist Jor-El steals and infuses the genetics codex into his newborn son, Kal-El, the first naturally born Kryptonian in centuries. Jor-El manages to send Kal-El in a spacecraft toward Earth before being killed by General Zod during a coup d'etat. Kal-El lands in Kansas, where he's adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent and named Clark. As he grows older, due to his Kryptonian physiology and Earth's yellow sun, he develops superhuman powers that Jonathan urges him to keep hidden. Even refusing Clark's help years later during a tornado storm where he loses his life. Burdened with guilt over Jonathan's death, Clark travels the globe, hiding under various aliases, seeking a purpose in life. Daily Planet reporter Lois Lane receives an assignment to investigate the discovery of a Kryptonian scout ship in the Arctic. Clark enters the ship disguised as a worker and learns from its artificial intelligence model after his father, Jor-El, about his origins and that Clark was sent to Earth to help guide its people. While following Clark, Lois inadvertently triggers the ship's security system and he uses his powers to rescue her from its defenses. He wears a uniform provided by the ship's AI and begins testing his abilities. Unable to convince Supervisor Perry White to publish an article on the incident, Lois tracks down Clark in Smallville with the intent of exposing him. However, Lois drops the story upon hearing of Jonathan Kent's sacrifice, keeping Clark's identity safe while fueling Perry's suspicions. Zod and his crew escape the Phantom Zone, where they were imprisoned for treason for their actions against Krypton. They travel to Earth to turn it into a new Krypton, possessing several terraforming devices salvaged from Kryptonian outposts. Following Clark and Lois' capture, Zod's science officer, Jaxer, extracts some of Clark's genes so as to create new Kryptonians who will build a society based on Zod's ideals of genetic purity. Using the Jor-El AI to take over the ship, Clark and Lois flee and warn the U.S. military of Zod's plan, resulting in a confrontation between Clark and Zod's troops. Now for the ending, the procedure. 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Zod deploys his most powerful terraforming device, the World Engine, which severely damages Metropolis and risks humanity's extinction. Clark destroys the terraforming platform while the military launches an attack on the Black Zero. sending Zod's troops back to the Phantom Zone. With the ship destroyed and Krypton's only hope of revival gone, Zod vows to destroy Earth and its inhabitants out of revenge. The two Kryptonians engaged in a lengthy battle across Metropolis, which concludes when Clark is forced to kill Zod as the latter attacks a family trapped in a train station. Sometime later, Clark adopts the moniker Superman and persuades the government to let him act independently under the condition he does not turn against humanity. To gain covert access to dangerous situations, he takes a job under his civilian identity, Clark Kent, as a reporter for the Daily Planet in the story. So, what did I think of Man of Steel? Well, I've seen this a few times. I did go see this at the theater. I'm going to say it's not too bad. It's a pretty good film and what have you. Upon its release, it got mixed reviews who felt the film's visually appealing action sequences were not enough to overcome its descent into generic blockbuster territory, and they were divided over Cavill's performance as the titular character. Nevertheless, the film went on to make 670 million worldwide against its 225 to 258 million-dollar budget, and became the ninth highest grossing film of 2013, and was soon followed up with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice in March of 2016. Still, I am going to say this film is pretty good. While be sure it does have a few issues, but nevertheless, I think it was pretty good. It also became the second highest grossing reboot of all time behind The Amazing Spider Man, which came out a year prior. Eventually, it just did so well. Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 56, though, saying the film's exhilarating action and spectacle can't fully overcome its detours into generic blockbuster territory. That's true and what have you, but nevertheless, I feel like this film had a lot of good action sequences in it, and I actually did think Henry Cavill was pretty good as Superman, but I'll get to that in a moment. Metacritic has a score of 55, an audience's poll by Cinema score gave it A minus. However, those under the age of 18 and older than 50 gave it an actual A. Richard Roeper said that the film covered no new ground with regard to Superman films and instead were plunged back into a mostly underwhelming film with underdeveloped characters and supercharged fight scenes that drag on and offer nothing new in the way of special effects creativity. Ty Burr wrote in the Boston Globe, "What's missing from this Superman saga is a sense of lightness and pop joy." The Washington Post and Hornaday stated that with Hans Zimmer's turgid, overproduced score, the film is an exceptionally unpleasant viewing experience. I'll get to that in a little bit too. Lisa Kennedy for the Denver Post said that the chief problem with the film is the rhythm and balance in the storytelling and directing, which results in a film that swings between destructive overstatement and flat-footed homilies. However, Screen Rant's editor-in-chief gave this a 4 out of 5 star review, saying that the film has more than earned its keep and deserves to be the iconic Superman movie for a whole new generation. IGN gave this a 9 out of 10, praising the action sequences and the performances given by Kevin Costner, Russell Crowe, and Michael Shannon. While the performance of Superman's adversary, Fiora UI, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, particularly in the Smallville battle scenes, has also been lauded. The performance of its star. Peter Travers gave it 3 out of 4, saying, "Caught in the slipstream between action and angst, the film is a bumpy ride for sure, but there's no way to stay blind to its wonders." Well, again, I understand and what have you. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it has its issues, but nevertheless, I found the film to have some pretty cool moments. And yeah, it does have some moments where it switches from one thing to another and what have you. Yeah, that is kind of an issue. But again, as I said, I actually liked it. Hans Zimmer does the score for the film, and it's not too bad. Well, might not quite be as memorable as John Williams' contribution of music to the original Superman from 1978, nor the scores for the other films in that series. But nevertheless, I think Zimmer does pretty good with his score. Definitely. So, anyway, there was to be a sequel to this, and Snyder contemplated the inclusion of Brainiac, the Kryptonians, and even Metallo as possible antagonists, but they were ultimately scrapped by April 2013 in favor of a plot with Batman as the antagonist, and thus we got Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and well, therefore we never got anything like that. But anyway, I am gonna say at least they managed to do something different. I know it. This film might not quite be as popular as the original, nor the second Superman film, or not even the new film, which I've already seen has been getting some good reviews so far. For our cast, we have Henry Cavill as Clark Kent, aka Superman. I will say this was pretty good and what have you. Now, actually, as a matter of fact, he was considered for the role in the last Superman film, which was 2006's Superman Returns. Unfortunately, he lost to Brandon Routh. Anyway, yeah. Plus, there were lots of other people who were up for the role. Even Tyler Hoechlin, who would later go on to play the Man of Steel in Superman and Lois of, well, the last series from the now defunct Arrowverse on the CW. Playing Lois Lane is Amy Adams, and I must say she's very good in her performance. Other people who were up for the role were Kristen Stewart, Zoe Saldana, Olivia Wilde, and Mila Kunis. But Amy Adams does an exceptionally good job, and I did like her. She did a pretty good job. As General Zod, we have Michael Shannon, who of course was already big on HBO's hit series Boardwalk Empire. I'm going to say, well, he might not quite be as good as Terrence Stamp was in his little, well, small appearance in the first one, but in his big appearance in Superman 2, he still proved to be pretty good, though. Viggo Mortensen and Daniel Day Lewis were also considered for this role, but Shannon does a pretty good job, though. Playing Jonathan Kent is Kevin Costner, while Martha Kent is played by Diane Lane. And I've got to say, those two were exceptionally really good. Now, Laurence Fishburne played Perry White. I gotta say, pretty good. I didn't mind well the this being the first time an African American to play Perry White in live action form. I really didn't have much of anything to go against it. Apparently, according to him, he remarked of his role, his inspiration really was the late great Ed Bradley, who of course was a correspondent on CBS's long-running news magazine 60 Minutes, as he was a friend, mentor, and role model for Fishburne, particularly because he worked in journalism, was the kind of guy who walked with kings, but had the common touch. So he was Fishburne's inspiration for Perry. Now, playing Feora Uli, if that's how you say it, but if I mispronounce that bit, I apologize, is Antje Trow. I will say that character isn't too bad. Not completely bad. Alice Steven, Diane Kruger, and Rosamund Pike were considered for that role. Even Gal Gadot, who would later be Wonder Woman, but well, she had to decline because she was pregnant at that time. And henceforth, that well, gave her a chance to be cast as Wonder Woman. Ayelet Zur played Laura Lorvan, Jor-El's wife. She was pretty good. Kai Nielsen was in negotiations for that role before Zur was cast, but however, she would play Queen Hippolyta in Wonder Woman. Christopher Maloney played Nathan Hardy, U.S. Air Force officer, call sign Guardian, assigned to the U.S. Northern Command. I'm going to say he wasn't too bad. And finally, we have Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I'm going to say he's pretty good too. Sean Penn and Clive Owen were also considered for the role as well. But Crowe, I'll say he did pretty good. And there's many others and what have you. So, anyway, Man of Steel, well, it has its issues, but nevertheless, it still proved to be a pretty good film in ways. And a pretty good way to start the now defunct DCEU. So, with everything said, would I recommend Man of Steel? I'd say sure, go ahead. I mean, if you really like this, if you really want to see it, then I'd say sure, go ahead. I think you might enjoy it, but if not, then well, it was worth a shot. So, what did you think of Man of Steel? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Get them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation and share my vids with your friends if you like. And I'm moving up again. I'm 44. Yeah, there. Just need. I'm 44 subscribers away from 1,000. Looking good. All right, join me next time when I bring to you my next Saturday morning TV log, and I'll be on the Barclays. So if you like this, check out my reviews for these other Superman films. In the upper left-hand corner is my re-review of Superman the movie from 1978. The upper right-hand corner is my re-review of Superman 2 from 1980, or A1 as it was released in the US. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my re-review of Superman Returns. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.